in the whole history of the church, in the 21st century, we have the most educated people sitting in the pews. I think this whole series is an attempt to make sure that people understand their faith in greater depth. And I would really want to encourage people who are there tonight or listening online to commit to this whole series of lectures, not just for their own sake, but as a discipline and an act of discipleship which will sustain them through their whole lives. Because if the gospel is going to spread, it needs ordinary women and men to be informed about their faith.
We live in a culture of interpretation, spin, your perspective, creating your own reality. It's absolutely true that most American adults don't believe in absolute truth. They find it hard to believe that something can be universally true for all people. 83% of American teenagers said that moral truth depends on the circumstance one finds themselves in. Only 6% of the same survey said that there was such thing as objective moral values. Objective means unchanging. Only 6%. 75% of adults, 3 out of 4, ages 18 to 35, claim to embrace moral relativism. If we were to survey the church tonight, I don't mean by this just our church, I mean the church at large, and if you walk up to someone and you say, what is moral relativism? To the average Christian, they'll have a blank stare on their face. Honestly, they don't know. How do you define relativism? Do you know how to define it? It's a view that a belief can be good or right for one person or culture, but not necessarily for another person. And on its surface, relativism sounds relaxed and easygoing and cool and hip and contemporary, doesn't it? Only when we think through its implications and we apply them rigorously to life and we test them do we see the pitfalls of becoming so accommodating. People generally are very selective relativists. People are usually relativistic about God, religion, and ethics.
How were people saved before Christ?
People have a relationship with God the exact same way in the Old Testament that they do in the New Testament, the same way that we do, by grace, through faith in a God who loves them. Anyone pre-Christ would be saved by hoping for the coming Redeemer, hoping for the coming Messiah. As Job said, I know my Redeemer lives, I will see him someday. So it's always by faith in God, by his grace, one who come to realize that he could not save himself, but it is through and by God's grace alone.
What advice do you have for someone wanting to go deeper into apologetics?
First of all, you need to start right now. You need to start where you're at. Now is the best time to get started. Get involved in the long haul. Start now. Constant consumption and constant usage. Second advice I would just say, Audrey, is be very patient. I've been studying this now for close to a decade. I'm just scratching the surface. It's not something that's going to come overnight. Watch one less television show, watch an hour less television at night, read a book instead. You'll be a lot better for it.
Greetings from England. This is Dr. Peter Williams, Warden of Tyndale House in Cambridge and member of the Faculty of Divinity in the University of Cambridge. I want to invite you to join me at Christian Thinkers Society with Jeremiah Johnston on Wednesday, April the 6th. I'm so looking forward to our time together because I've got to share with you some remarkable new evidence for the reliability of the Gospels. I hope you can be there. I'm looking forward to it.